Here's part 14 of The Troop. Hey, the baby. Hello, baby. So the storm was over, and the boys emerged from the cellar. Kent looked fucked. Absolutely screwed up. He was gnawing at the moldy tarps inside the cellar, chewing at the ground, anything he could get his hands on. He was fully succumbing to the worms. So when the boys left the cellar, they went to go check on their scoutmaster, Tim, only to find that earlier when they heard the oak tree fall onto the cabin was completely crushed, and they found the scoutmaster's body pinned underneath the tree. Unfortunately, the trunk of the tree landed on top of Tim's shoulder and head, and you can only imagine that no one would be able to survive that. Poor little Newton walked up to Tim, and he's like, "Tim, are you okay?" But he unfortunately knew immediately that Tim was deceased. The boys noticed worms poking up from every pore of Tim's body, and they freaked out. And Ephraim thought to himself, "Oh my God, I wonder if the worms are going to get into my hands." Because earlier when Ephraim and Kent fought fist to fist, Ephraim has cuts on his hands, and he's worried that these worms are going to find their way into his hand wounds. So now he's meticulously worried, chronically worried, that he was now going to have bugs in his skin. Newton was really attached to Tim, so seeing the lifeless body of his scoutmaster really messed him up. And even though everyone constantly makes fun of Newton, Max stood there and he's like, "Listen, Newt, it was quick. He didn't feel it. He's not hurting anymore. He's okay. It was fast." And Newton just cried a lot. "Hold on, you golden child. I'll get you a treat. Break. Story break for a little snacky snack. Here. For your hard work, ma'am." Good. Good girl. So for a split moment in the courtroom, Dr. Harneval described Dr. Edgerton's description of their hydadid. This particular tapeworm adapted from a feeding parasite, consuming things that their host consumes, like food. This particular tapeworm adapts to consuming the host, like blood, flesh, organs, bones, and it breeds at rapid rate. So what could take weeks to form as a very large tapeworm and slowly work its way to maybe making you lose weight, now you will die within hours because it takes effect so rapidly. It's alien. You look so sad. Trust me, I fed her. When I got home, I gave her treats. She acts like she's starving. Can you tell everybody that you're not being abused? No comment. No comment from the peanut gallery. So the storm was over, but the boys now realize that they are now on their own. And the book consistently reminds us that they're all under the age of like 13 and 10. But the way they act in the book is very mature. Like they sound 16 or 18 with the problem solving and the arguing. Kind of took me away from the story a little. But now they're in taking care of each other. Now that their fearless leader, Kent, is now succumbing to his illness. Bro was full on hallucinating a zombified version of his father inside the cellar as he's gnawing on this moldy tarp for food. The zombified hallucination was egging Kent on to, "You can take them back. You're a leader. Or are you a coward? You should eat everything. You know you're hungry. You know you're hungry. You're hungry." And Kent is just like, "Yes, father." Shelly is still creepy as heck, and he's moving around in the background just like, "Kent has a worm. And Ephraim thinks he might have worms. How am I going to control everybody?" Now remember, Newton is our lovely little nerd kid who loves plants. Bro's got wrinkles in his brain. He's got no smooth brain. He is thinking hard about a solution. And he's like, let me just bring forth my knowledge to all of you. I know you guys hate me and you make fun of me for liking plants, but hear me out. I think we can find a way to cure Kent. Now, there are plants around this island that can make you vomit. And if we can find a specific mushroom and this said plant, we could probably induce vomiting in Kent and remove as many worms as we can. It might help. I know it's not going to cure him, but at least we can try. And for the first time, Max is like, actually, that would be a pretty brilliant idea. And Newton's like, sick, awesome. I'm going to go sneak inside whatever's left of the cabin and find my field guide. That will give me all of the plant information I need, so I know I'm not picking the wrong ones. You are just such a little angel. I love you. Look at that face. Oh my god! You're so goofy. So Newton was heading to the cabin, and the boys looked out over the beach and the ocean, and they noticed there was a boat racing towards the island, and it looked like Mr. Fay, who was a rich mainland dweller who, owned a lot of fancy toys, but it looked like there was someone else in the boat that was rocketing toward the island. Were they coming to save them? The boys got excited until they saw the military boats that were racing after Mr. Fay, and they got so close to the island before they were pulled over, and they witnessed the military boat dock onto this tiny little cigarette boat, and the men were pulled off of this little boat onto the military boat, and they were put under arrest. And as the military was going back to the mainland with the two sea offenders, I suppose, they blew up the tiny cigarette boat. Oh yeah, the boys witnessed a possible rescue mission go awry, and they realized that no one was there to help them, as now they were going to be alone forever until they croak. Their hope is now lost.